1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost the weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air.
Pod.
And with gangs all here, all things on the South Side. Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod.
All right, so you're drinking one.
I'm drinking one.
So
I'm
that's
taking
good.
one for the team,
You're
Chris.
drinking one, which is I'm happy about.
Having a
I
gumball head.
still want to go out later. Like, I envisioned us hitting the road.
You should have told me that yesterday, and I would have skipped going to the Matthew Sweet concert and would have gone home.
I envisioned us
But then I wouldn't have seen Tom Ricketts, you know?
going out and hitting the road and having a good time tonight. And like, it's a weekend where the boys are over at their mother's. Every other weekend they're with her. I'm like the inverse. Like, this doesn't happen for dudes in divorce.
No.
It's normally the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm exhausted because I have the kids all the time. Okay? But like, this is like my free weekend. All I've got is the 18-year-old, who I think is going to look at me like, you're leaving? Like, if you and I go out.
Yeah.
And I guess I could be like, come with. You can go someplace where like they'll let you
the
in.
South Side, yeah.
You know, I mean, most South Side places would let her in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that might be
Coke.
fun. I don't know if she really wants to watch her father out in the wild. She's already seen it once. She's already seen it. More than once. She's seen her father out. She's seen me talk to another woman that isn't her mother.
Oh, boy.
She's seen it. Okay? Like, I don't do any, like, I'm not dating or anything like that, right? But she's just seen it. Okay? Like, I'm a friendly person.
That is
so
true.
I don't think she wants to see it. So we'd probably
No.
Now, my son, I think, would want to see it. Like, I think
to laugh at you, probably.
Well, I think it's good for, like, here, I have this theory now, and I'm curious as to how it will play out. I was a wallflower. I was nervous around girls in high school, and I didn't blossom until I got into college. And most of that came from friends of mine that kind of told me, you're not going about this the right way.
You're doing it wrong.
And every single one of them, they were either the child of divorce or their father had passed away and an older brother had been the one that had told them what to do. And I have a theory that married guys hold back a little bit about all the stuff that you probably tell a kid in high school going into college because you're still married to his mother. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're still
okay.
But now when you're not married to his mother anymore, you may be a little bit more like, hey, this is how you do this. This is how you talk to them. This is what they like at this age. This is like, you probably get into it more with them just because you don't have that. What if my guy goes and tells
You did
his
that
mom?
to Mom?
Yeah. What if he just goes and tells his mom, Dad and I were talking about this and this is what he said, and then I got to catch grief for it, right?
That would be terrible. But
So,
you're not going to catch grief.
Right. Now, not to bring up a sore thing, but like your dad passed when you were young,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Was he around to teach you like how to interact with the opposite sex?
I was way too young, so
Okay.
yeah, no.
You have an older brother though,
I have
right?
an older brother.
So he probably gave you advice.
A little bit, yeah.
Did
yeah,
you feel like you did well when you were younger?
Oh, no.
No? Okay. Because all my friends that did well, like I said, had divorced dads or an older brother told them what to do.
I don't think it was for lack of trying. It just, girls didn't like me. It wasn't very attractive.
Why is that?
I was short.
Look at this guy.
I had a
How do you not
terrible
like this
haircut.
guy?
I was a nerd. So...
Okay. Well, then fine. You blew my theory out of the water.
Well, my brother did fantastic.
Okay.
So,
because that's the thing. Like all my friends that did well when they were younger had divorced dads.
but how are they?
Or their dad wasn't around and an older brother gave them tips.
But how are they doing now?
They're a mess now.
Okay.
But so am I.
That's true.
Right? Like I'm getting divorced too. So I mean, like we're all like in the same boat.
And I am not a mess.
No, you're
so
doing
maybe
just
my
fine.
path was okay.
You're one of the few.
Oh,
You have a lovely wife.
I do have a lovely
Right,
wife.
who I would never want to divorce because she would kill me. On the way out the door, she's going to murder you. Like if you said, honey, it's over, I'm divorcing you, she'd be like, yeah, this is never going to trial. Never go to trial. She would look at you and be like, oh, you're divorcing me, huh? Oh, all right. And the next meal you ate would have been your last. Oh, did I put something in he was allergic to?
I mean, she did try to kill me with allergies once before. When she put that down comforter on her bed.
She would move on from you and very quickly have something else lined up.
She tells me that if anything happened, she said she would never get married again and would never date again because she doesn't have the time or the energy for that.
I don't think I'll ever have the energy for marriage again. Like, I have all these friends that keep telling me, like, oh, the next marriage. And I'm like, the next marriage?
Yeah.
You know how much I enjoy sitting around playing Red Dead Redemption when I have a couple of hours off?
Listen, maybe you'll find a longtime companion that you hang out with a lot. But maybe you won't live together.
Right. Well, that would be
or you'll
great.
live together 4 nights a week.
Goes on vacations with me.
Yeah.
Like, that's when it's like, hey, we're going on a trip. Great. I'll get my bag. And then, like, we get back and be like, I'll call you in a couple of days.
Yeah, my grandfather, after my grandmother died, he had this wonderful woman, Virginia, that was his girlfriend, but they were never getting married, never lived together. I'm sure they did whatever they did together.
Right.
Because they weren't that old, but they didn't want anything more.
Yeah. I enjoy the fact that I went walking through a record store the other day and just did what I wanted to do.
That's awesome.
I like the fact I don't have to tell anybody where I'm at.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, I never want to do that again. I never want to tell if I start dating again and I still feel like that's a long ways away.
Yeah, we will try to talk you out of that as much as we can.
But if I start doing that again, I think that the moment somebody says, why didn't you check in with me or call me or tell me where you are, will be the end of that relationship. Like, that's going to be a hard and fast rule. Like, I was concerned. You were up my butt. We're done. Right? Like, I think that, like, because it's those little things. Like, you love your wife, right?
I do.
But there are things that if you could give her, you could probably come up with a list of top 10 things I'd wish would stop right now.
Let's not have this while these things are recording. On the flip side, she does not know where I am all the time. I mean, I don't lie where I'm at. And if she asks me, I'll tell her. But, because when I tell her, she doesn't remember. Like, when I go on a work trip, like, where was Mike? She's like, I don't know.
He was somewhere.
California?
He was making money.
Philadelphia? I don't know.
I'm not worried about him because if I ever find out he did anything, I'm going to murder him.
She's not. Yes, exactly. More of the first part, maybe less of the second part. But
have you seen his game? It's terrible. Older brother I'd be worried about, but not that guy. This portion of Southside Pod brought to you by Tom Walsh, your Edward Jones financial advisor. He's local, experienced, down to earth, and a friend of this show. He actually helps me with my money and he takes care of bills as well. Get to know you approach and a do the right thing attitude. That's what you're going to get from Tom. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? You give him a call, 773-779-0023. Call somebody who is invested in your success and has been doing this for over 2 decades. Doesn't matter where you're at in life. Just starting out, getting to the end, somewhere in the middle. Stop in and see him on the corner of 111th and Kedzie. Tom Walsh, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC. Man, we just ate a $40 pizza.
it's crazy how much pizza is, but that's a great $40. I would rather spend $40 on that one pizza than buy the equivalent $40 worth of pizza from Little Caesars or Domino's.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so we had a Rosangela's. We'll give them a plug. They're not an advertiser. They don't need our advertising.
They don't need any advertising.
They're rocking it on the east side of Evergreen
They're
Park.
Probably not even in the church program, the bulletins anymore.
Yeah, they're across the street from Little Company and Mary. They expanded and they still, you show up there and you can't find a seat when you first walk in the door. They're doing
18 people working behind the ovens.
Right. I think half the place in there is related to each other. Like you got nieces and aunts and uncles and everybody working in that place. And they're making money hand over fist. And their pizza's great.
Their pizza's awesome.
It's $40 though. Yeah. I got their biggest pizza and it was $40 to have it delivered.
It was 2 ingredients, but
it's weird though, right?
Delivery.
It's weird now, the cost of everything. Like it's crazy to me because a pizza, and they're not the only place. Like I'm not bashing them. If I get a pizza now,
get the 16 or the 18?
We got the big one,
the 18.
The 18. But still, that should be $25.
So like
pre-pandemic, that's a $25 pizza.
Yeah, I mean, like all my years in pizza, like our biggest pizza, it was a 16-inch and a one ingredient 16-inch at the time was $11.29. Why do I still remember that?
See?
Because it was 80% of the orders were a large one ingredient pizza, and so I remember what it cost in 1992.
Right. It cost me, with the tip, it was $45 to have a pizza delivered to the house tonight. And pizza used to be the cheap thing you would get, right?
Yeah.
You get a cheap pizza.
Yeah.
And I can't bring myself to get Domino's.
No.
Like I know it's there.
Terrible.
I know they'll give you a big deal and everything else
terrible.
like that, but I don't want it. But all the pizza places, like I go to Baracco's, it's expensive. I go to Rosangela's, it's expensive. I go to Palermo's, it's expensive. Like if I pick a place, it's expensive. I get Lou Malnati's, it's expensive. And it used to be that like the Lou's was more expensive because it was deep dish, but now I feel like I'm getting it for the same amount of money as a regular pie.
Yeah.
you know? And it's nuts to me. Like, where's the cheap food? Like I was telling the kids the other day, I won't go to McDonald's anymore.
It's not cheap anymore.
Or Wendy's or any of the regular fast food places. Because if I'm going to spend $7 for a burger, I'm going to get it from like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like we might as well walk into like a local family owned restaurant or pub or like something like that and get the big burger there because I'm spending the same amount of money than going through the drive-thru.
And it's going to taste better.
Yeah. Because now, like, for some reason now, food has just become so overpriced. You have this thing with Wendy's now. The idea that they're going to
surge pricing.
They're going to, yeah.
Isn't that
so
crazy?
the price is going to change as the day changes. It's such and such time. Your burger is now $3 more.
That doesn't make. How is that going to work?
How am I ever going
to?
I'm done. See, that's the thing. Whatever money they're going to make off of somebody who's going to be like, man, I really need to get myself a Dave's Deluxe. They lost with the fact that I will never go to a Wendy's
Well, that's
again.
the generation younger than us that is willing to pay, $4 more to get their $4 Starbucks delivered. That's what that's aimed for.
But that's also the other
They don't
weird
care
thing.
about the price. They're like, well, I want it now, so I will pay the $3.
I'm sorry, you're telling me the generation that can't figure out why they can't buy a house?
Yes.
Is it because you're subscribed to HelloFresh because you won't go to a
Yes.
grocery store and just pick out chicken?
And they buy $4.50 cups of coffee 5 days a week.
I go every week to the Mariano's or the Jewels
Or the Jewels.
or whatever, and I go and I spend $100 to buy the essentials, the eggs, the milk, the things that perish,
Butter.
right? All that stuff, right? And then I go to Costco once a month and I drop 400 bones on everything in bulk that I get otherwise. And I do that for a family of 4 right now. And I keep my grocery bill down and I cook at home. And like, that's what you have to do.
Amazing how much money you save when you cook at home.
You have to cook. And I've learned all kinds of recipes. Like, here's the thing. I'm telling you right now, if you're not sure if you can do it, I figured out how to cook new recipes at 46 years old. My wife was
They give you
thrown
the
from the house.
instructions.
Okay, she was told by the authorities, "Don't come back." Okay, and then I filed for divorce, and she's out of the house, and I had to learn how to cook food. I had to learn how to go to the grocery store and then cook food. And if I can figure this out, you can figure this out. And until people all start saying, okay, I'm not going to spend a ridiculous amount of money for a double cheeseburger at a fast food place, it's going to get worse. You know, like I remember after the pandemic, I had a friend of mine who owns a restaurant tell me the pandemic will continue with the food industry for the next 10 years. Because what's going to happen is the ones that first survive will raise their prices to make up for the years that they were in the negative because they're still down. They're still losing money. If they didn't sell to get out, if you don't have something under new ownership, and it's funny, there's a place nearby here that's under new ownership, and he doesn't put the credit card fees on the bills. He doesn't add the little extra things in there, right? Because he started at zero because he bought it, right? But the people that got killed during the pandemic are still trying, not all of them, most of them are still trying to make it up, right? So the next phase that will happen is you're going to have to be good at what you do. You're going to have to be really good at what you do because if you're not good at what you do, you're going to die. And we're going to see a bunch of places close. We're going to see a lot of fast food places like have their stores cut in half. You're going to see less options out there.
Listen, I don't need
And
4
then everything
subways
will
every
even
square
out.
mile, so that's good.
Huh?
I don't need 4 subways every square mile.
No, we don't need, right? It used to be the dream of everybody to own like a franchise store or to buy a bar. And now, you better be really good at it.
Because that sucks.
Yeah. You better be really, you better have like the drink that everybody only gets from your place. Like you better have the food item that people like come for that food item to be able to survive at this point. You better have the experience that nobody else can give.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if Disney's getting killed like they are right now and they've got the Disney experience, all right, your burger better be worth $8.
Should we talk about all the new Steamboat Willie movies?
Really? That's how you want to end that segment? You're the absolute worst. When is Bill coming back? You're the absolute worst. If you like hot sauce, and I like hot sauce, the only hot sauce that we have here at the 9-Foot Homemade Oak Bar is sidsauce.net. Go to sidsauce.net and get yourself some hot sauce. They're right here on the South Side. They grow the peppers in backyards around the South Side. They develop the sauces right here on the South Side. Many of you get the sauce delivered to your door for free. And again, it's the only hot sauce we have here at the 9-Foot Homemade Oak Bar where Southside Pod is filmed and recorded. Check them out again at sidsauce.net. What is the Steamboat Willie thing?
He's public domain.
Okay.
The original.
Is there a slasher film that's out already
There's like
for him?
3 of them.
Really? Steamboat Willie killing people?
There's like 3.
Winnie the Pooh killing people? That happened already?
That Winnie the Pooh, the same vein that Winnie the Pooh went public domain, and there was the Winnie Pooh.
So it's
movies.
like I haven't even seen the video yet. But let me describe what have you seen like a trailer for the Steamboat Willie one?
Yeah, and I don't remember them.
I would imagine like it's like somebody's just doing something. It's a little dark and spooky, and you hear, and it's like, ooh, and then Steamboat Willie pops out and hacks him to death.
Exactly. Yeah. Like they're at like a Dave and Buster's or something like that, and Steamboat Willie, like the stuffed animal, pops up. I think that's like you nailed it. You just wrote it. You sure you haven't seen the trailer? Because you basically nailed it. So, but that's one of them because there's like 2 out there. So okay. I don't remember what the other one is.
I mean, like they don't have any more ideas.
No.
There's nothing left.
No, let's use this 90. I don't even know how old Steamboat Willie is.
What else is going to run out soon? Like if we're at Steamboat Willie, we've got to be getting close to like the Wizard of Oz, where like
so that was 39,
right?
So
like some of these other ones.
Is it 87 years?
Well, Steamboat Willie, I thought was in the early 30s, right?
Yeah, so it's 87 or 90 or something like that.
We're going to come up on that very quick too. Like all these are going to run out.
Oh man, the Wizard of Oz horror movies.
Well, it's the same thing with music.
Just the Flying Monkeys.
It's the same thing with music too. And like that's what's really funny. Like I always find that to be one of the more like amazing things about our generation. Okay, and even any generation that's alive today, let's say, any generation alive today. But the older you are, you remember being told things like John F. Kennedy's, like all the stuff that they hid and redacted gets released such and such year. And it's coming, right? Like it's coming. Like, because when they set all these dates, like the copyright things and everything like that, they're all going to be dead, the people that set the dates. But it's coming for us. Like we're finally like, you could start playing music if you wanted to, that like without any kind of royalties. You're going to be able to start doing all this crazy stuff because it's going to be out there, you know? Everything's going to be completely run amok, which is amazing to me. Like I find that to be just incredible that you're going to see all these different dates come across.
Well, it's better than like remaking the same movie or TV show all the time, right?
Yeah, but that's what they're going to do. They're just going to use the stuff from back then.
Yeah, but they're going to make all these great
like
horror
Laurel
movies.
and Hardy is going to be a slasher film.
That'll be awesome.
We're going to have the Honeymooners. That'll be a porno.
Awesome.
That's what that'll be. So yeah, but yeah, all that stuff's going to be used up.
Leave It to Beaver, the slasher movie.
Or the porno.
Yep.
It's porno or slasher.
Oh, they already made that porno, Chris. I'm pretty sure. If Bill was here Googling that right now.
Do you want to be a Star Wars nerd with me for a minute?
We can be Star Wars nerds.
Have you been watching the...
Bad Batch?
Yeah.
I haven't. The boys are. They watch like... If they don't watch first thing Wednesday morning, it's like the minute they're both home after school.
So this is just a cartoon that essentially is being used to fix the last 3 movies.
Yes.
It's so obvious. Like what they're doing, what's happening here is somebody looked at the train wreck that was the final 3 movies that have Daisy Ridley in them and all these like
which I want to say that I enjoyed.
Yeah, so, well, you're a fool.
Yeah, I'm like the only
The Last
one.
Jedi is a terrible movie. It makes no sense within the rest of all the movies. And then the Emperor is like it comes back to life at the end.
Yeah,
I mean that's stupid. That's stupid. It's stupid. The whole thing is stupid. And the idea that the most powerful Jedi, the one that defeats him, is a girl that has no lineage that like and was never trained. That's the thing that always gets to me. Everybody else in the entire Star Wars world, somebody has to show them how to use a lightsaber. Somebody has to show them how to use the Force. She's pulling ships out of the sky just because she wants to.
Was the midichlorians, right?
I don't want to ever hear that word
that was
again.
the first 3 movies.
You speak that word at my bar again, I'm going to throw you out of here. Like, I mean, but seriously, like, I mean, it's crazy to me. But now, on the other hand, they're trying to fix it. And I don't know if I'm rooting for them to fix it or not. Because I never want to accept those movies.
Well, they want to make 10, 11, 12 too, probably at some point.
Gross.
Disney didn't buy that stuff for no reason, you know?
They got a lot of work they got to do.
There's only so many, Ahsoka shows.
They got to do so much work.
They can't have a baby or Yoda, show coming up anytime soon. You only can have one baby Yoda, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, they come up with these cute things, and you're like, oh, this is really neat. And then you see them trying to fix what happened. Like, I guess they have to, right? Yeah. They've got something that's worth billions of dollars. They have to fix it. They have to come up with a reason. That's why this entire show, you think you're watching something about what happens after the clones turn on the Jedi. But what you're really watching is the beginning of a program that will eventually clone the Emperor. And then that leads to the thing at the end of the last movie.
I need to go watch these is what you're saying.
They have to come up. Yeah, they're coming up with what happened.
Okay,
just like they did.
It's a big hole there. So
right. Well, they're doing that in the most recent live action thing too. They were doing that in the last season of The Mandalorian. They were doing that. They're showing some of that in Ahsoka. They're doing everything they can to try to tell you this is how this happened because we screwed it up terribly. So that one day you may go back and watch them and be like, oh, this makes sense now because it doesn't. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to basically tell the story beforehand and fix the movies. In the hopes that one day you'll like the movies.
Are they going to have that done by May 4th?
No, they have a new thing coming out on May 4th, though.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be cool. But again, it's a fixing thing.
Another fixing thing.
They're explaining who the bad guy is, the main bad guy, or one of the main bad guys in the Ahsoka thing, because it didn't make any sense why all of a sudden this character was so important. So they all of a sudden have made up an entire backstory,
dude, right?
And then they have another one where they're taking a Jedi that was a fallen Jedi that was a minor character in one of the old cartoons, and they're trying to show something with her, which I think is also going to allude to what happens in the future. Everything that they come out with is meant to fix the last three movies.
It's a lot of work.
Everything.
Also, that's a lot of programming that they're selling. So good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it. I'm annoyed as I watch it. I watch it, and then I go, come on! And then I watch the next episode.
Nice. It's working. It's working! It's working!
I'm an absolute mark for Star Wars.
When are we going to know what happened to Jar Jar? They ever going to tell us what happened?
No, they explain what happened to Jar Jar.
When did they explain what happened to Jar Jar?
He's in one of the books. So there's three books.
Listen, I watched the movies and the TV show, so I don't have to read the books.
There's three books that are part of canon called the Aftermath series.
The Aftermath series?
And he and the rest of his life plays out in the Aftermath series. They actually mention what happens to him. Okay, I think he ends up as a clown.
I mean,
who does parties for kids.
He was a clown.
That's what ends up happening to Jar Jar. He's
just realized he's a clown.
He's considered to be a disgrace. He lives out his days as the person that caused all these problems, and people blamed him for stuff and everything else.
He deserves all of that blame.
They give him a terrible ending, and it's a very sad, solitary ending for Jar Jar Binks.
Good.
But they didn't put that on the big screen for all of us to enjoy.
That's disappointing. Maybe they will. Maybe there will be the Jar Jar series at some point.
The sad Jar Jar series with just sad music in the background?
Yeah. Him as a mime in black and white playing French music.
I think he plays a mime at some point in the book.
That would be awesome.
You'll have to read the book. I have all three books.
Because that means he wouldn't talk.
I'll loan you the books. So you can, because they mention what happens with Jar Jar.
Nice.
Southside Pod listeners, if you're looking for something to do and you like wine, Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie, an incredible array of wines, an amazing menu as well. The wines from all over the world, and you can get them in any kind of portion that you'd like. You can try out new ones every time you go in there because they're constantly rotating in new items. A 21 and over establishment, really cool, like a hotel lounge inside of that establishment. And then if you find something you like, you go to the bottle shop, you pick out that wine, you take it home. I don't know how you can't enjoy yourself at Spoken Vine, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. See more at spokenvinewines.com. I went to Costco.
The Costco. No issues, right?
I was nervous going after Bill's story.
Yeah?
On the previous episode.
Did you get pulled aside when they looked at your ID?
I was worried I was going to get banned like Bill.
Yeah?
And if you didn't hear that episode, go back. It's recent. Okay. I was worried I was going to get banned.
Was it the same Costco?
Just for being associated with him. Yeah, it was the one in Orland.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your closest Costco?
It's the only other one's the one in Burbank, and it's more of one that's for restaurants.
Oh,
so they don't have every item I want. They have some stuff that's really cool there, but it's just not, it doesn't fit me as well. So I go in there, I walk through. I always go by myself. I never bring my children.
Good decision.
I see people bring their children in, and I think to myself, What's wrong with you?
Your bill would be twice as much if you bring your
Well,
children
and the
to
fact they
Costco
take up
with
a
you.
ton of room.
Yeah.
Like we're already pushing oversized carts because it's Costco. It's already super crowded.
Yeah.
There's already people cutting each other off. In fact, more people walk around a Costco like they're not a Costco shopper. Like, let me explain this to you. There are people who go to Costco and they think to themselves, look at these dirty, scruffy people who shop at Costco. I only come here for the deals. I'm not a low-life Costco person.
They're not buying the $9.99 pants.
But guess what? You are.
You're a member.
Because you're a member of Costco.
Member.
We're all...
It's in the definition.
Right. If we were rich, we wouldn't be shopping at Costco.
No.
We'd be going someplace else.
Yeah. We wouldn't
where
be.
I was sure that the product I was buying didn't have sawdust in it.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not exactly sure. I kind of hope. But I look at the prices and I go, well, there might be sawdust in this.
But just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And if
It'll
there
be
is,
okay.
I'll take it.
It's just wood pulp.
Right. It's like when you used to buy a burger in England from Burger King and then you found out there was horse meat in there and you're like, well, I kind of expected it.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of cows in England.
Nope.
Where were they getting the meat? Right? Like, I'm not saying there is sawdust in Costco products, but if I was told that's how they keep the prices down, I'd kind of shrug and be like, all right.
Good for them.
Right? All right.
Hot
Makes
dogs
sense.
are still $1.50.
Right. Like, I know look, you never get anything for free. Everything you get, there's a reason why the cost is down. It could be because you paid $120 every year so you could be part of a club, or they may also have to get it down another way. And I accept that. But people walk around the Costco like all these other unwashed masses. They're in my way, so I'm not going to let them walk down the aisle. I'm going to cut people off. I'm going to bang in other people's carts. I'm going to act
Probably walking with their cart on the side,
I'm
too.
important,
I hate those people.
And all of you are not. I've lowered myself today to come into this Costco. You have to come here. Guess what? Everybody has to go. If you're in it, there's a reason you're there. That's the point I'm making. But what I realized was the worst Costco shopper, the biggest asshole, those are the people just entering the parking lot. The people just entering the parking lot, not the people leaving because they're frustrated after all the shopping, not the people walking through the aisles, not the people that are standing there trying to get their groceries out of their cart real quick and back in their cart and there's no bags and all this, and then having to have their ticket checked at the door. No. It's the people entering the lot.
Like just pulling into the parking lot trying to find a spot.
They are so incredibly aggressive. It's the only people I ever see have near accidents are the people entering the Costco lot, as though they had 2 Red Bulls, a giant latte, and done 3 lines of Coke to gear up.
I mean, some
for
days,
the battle that was in front of them at Costco.
I mean, on Saturdays, you got to gear up for
They
Costco.
come in hyped. Whenever I see somebody almost get hit in the parking lot, it's somebody who's entering the lot, not somebody leaving. People leaving are exhausted.
Yeah.
People come in ready to fight at the Costco. All right? They come in looking for it. All right? Like they will pull up, like there might be 20 spots, but they want that one.
Yep.
And they're fighting over it.
There's 3 cars lined up
And they're
for it.
beeping their horns.
And the guy putting his groceries in the car next to it is taking his time because he sees it.
And it is, I'm telling you, the people entering the Costco, next time, if you ever go to a Costco, and if you don't have to go to a Costco, God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you. I have to go.
But also you're missing out.
Single dad has to go to Costco. Okay. But if you're not going to Costco, God bless you. But if you are going, I would love to hear if somebody sees it the same way as that. I think the worst people are at their worst at Costco as they enter the parking lot more than at any other point there. Don't look for this when you're entering because you're probably one of the problems. On the way out, look for it.
I'm going to be conscious of it when I enter now.
On the way in, you're probably the bad guy. But on the way out, look for the bad guy.
So what you're saying is Costco changes you from a bad person to a good person.
I guess. It's all the samples. The samples make you happier and they calm you down. They placate you.
It's the Southside! It's the Southside! It's the Southside Pod! Thanks for listening! Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod! Y'all come back now, you hear?